Yes, pump it up. You've got to pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Hey, I know there's people here. I could see you on YouTube. Say hi in the chat. I was delaying my start because I was like, oh my god, nobody's here. I know it's kind of a niche program. The title is about Bitcoin, but we're going to cover other stuff too. Like the people Trump is appointing. Hello, people in the chat. Thanks for checking in. If I don't see you, I don't know you exist. So, yeah, big news though today. Bitcoin, ever since Trump got elected, it's Monday, it's November 11th, 11/11. Huge day today. Bitcoin is at over 88,000 right now. It was over 89,000 a few minutes ago. Huge because it started the day at like 80. So huge. I'm wearing my Bitcoin Saves sweatshirt. I'll have to show you the back of it at some point during this show, so you can buy it. But yeah, so hopefully we'll have a good pump during the show. Yeah, might go to 100K. And then there's no telling what might happen next. That's all I can say to you. Okay. So I have that news. I have the news about, let's see how long I have videos celebrating the pump. I don't know how many people in my chat own Bitcoin. I have been talking about it for a while. I have a few tabs on Bitcoin to celebrate. But right now, here, I'll show you the chart. Right now, it's at 88,280, up $7,700 in the last 24 hours. And then stuff like Dogecoin is pumping. Dogecoin is really pumping. There's other stuff that's going up too, but mostly the story is Bitcoin. But yeah, also a secondary story, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, all the meme coins. You have to get in. You have to get in the market. This is the pump to end all pumps. Spirit Warrior wants to know how many I have. I can't tell you. We do not disclose how much Bitcoin we have. We don't want to get robbed either. Nothing. I lost it all. I had some, and I talk about it for entertainment purposes. But I don't hold any Bitcoin myself personally. I definitely couldn't tell you where I would do that if I were to. But I wish I had more. That's the thing. I wish I had more. I would celebrate on days like today. Who's buying? Everybody. Countries are going to be buying. That's the story. Spirit Warrior. Countries are going to be buying. Lisa Dill's got it at 20K. Penelope got it at 8K. That's good. Those are good numbers. I first started looking at cryptocurrency in 2017. That was a crazy year. It went from like 1,000 to 20,000 in 1 year. So we've seen it do crazy things. I'll show you. I'll show you the chart. I'll show you the 15-minute chart. It's going down a little bit right now. It's just taking a breather. Every time it does this, though, it comes back. So far, it's been nothing but up. Just over 88,000. I'll show you the daily chart. There you go. So that's what it looks like. And so people are saying lots of different things, like there's none left to buy. Countries are going to be fighting for it. Corporations are going to be fighting for it. This is a huge move, though, in one day. But you see huge moves from stuff like Tesla stock, too, all because of the Donald Trump effect. Mostly because people think that the regulations are going to be better on cryptocurrency now. So now it's a green light to buy. Don't fight the pump. That's Bitcoin. And then let's see Dogecoin. Dogecoin is just going crazy. I should have bought some before the election. I did say, instead of betting on Trump to win, you could just buy Bitcoin. I was correct about that. Dogecoin keeps going up every day, 20% or so. It's loading the screen on my side. You got some in 2014, Spirit Warrior? Oh my God. Well, you might have some to give to the show then. You're doing really well today, Spirit Warrior. Good job. 2014. What was the price back then? So here's Dogecoin up 22%. Look at the chart for Dogecoin. Dogecoin's going crazy. So yeah, this is going to be the season of meme coins and Bitcoin probably. I think meme coins are going to continue to pump. I think you could buy Dogecoin too. I'm going to play some video to get people in the spirit. I'll play my intro first. All right, welcome to the show, guys. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about some other stuff. Trump appointed somebody to be his border czar, who people say is based. They have video of him yelling at people and stuff. So I have that. I have, he appointed Elise Stefanik to be the ambassador to the UN, the thing that Nikki Haley used to do. It was like a crazy Zionist neocon. Well, this Stefanik isn't much different. I'll show you some video of that. Democrats are still trying to figure out what happened. They spent a lot of money, the Democrats, and apparently they spent a lot on celebrities. I don't know how real it is, but they're saying that like Beyonce got paid $10 million or something kind of crazy. So Democrats are seeing it. And apparently she's in debt, $20 million, even after spending $1 billion. And apparently he's just wasted a ton of money on staff and everything, where Trump had way less money, spent way less money, and dominated. So, Spirit Warrior is doing good. All right, here we go. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news.
We're in the Bitcoin gold rush. It started in January of 2024, and it will run till about November of 2034. How many people know what happened in November of 2034? In November of 2034, 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined, and the last 1% comes out over the next 100 years. So for all practical purposes, the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin is infinity in 2034. It becomes noise. At the beginning of the gold rush, no bank could custody Bitcoin, no institutional investor could buy Bitcoin, no Wall Street trading firm. When those spot ETFs were approved, that created a fire or an avalanche. The genie's out of the bottle. It doesn't matter who's elected president next. It doesn't matter who's the next head of the SEC. No politician's opinion, no banker opinion, no regulator opinion matters after that date. That kicked off the gold rush. We're in the Bitcoin gold rush. It started in January of 2024, and it will run till
until 2034. So that means we're in a gold rush for a decade. Just imagine that. A complete repositioning of wealth everywhere. A decentralization. Bitcoin dorks taking over the world. I'm going to play you guys some more. I'm going to get you guys in the spirit. I was listening to stuff, watching live streams, pump streams. Coinbase stock is way up too. In case you're into stocks. Oh, I'm going to play some more. Let's see. Come on.
Most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value. We call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay.
But like
We'll
most
have these. If you're on, I have that. Hold on, let me see. I have this too. More Michael Saylor remixes. We're gonna get to the news. We'll cover everything you want to see. It might be a smaller show because Bitcoin is a more niche topic. Yeah, there wasn't much in the news though, except for him picking his staff and stuff.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best? There is no second best. There's a crypto asset, it's called Bitcoin, right? There is no second best. Bitcoin or no? Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best.
That was a little remix. All right, I have the theory for the Omega candle. That's when that's the candle that breaks the screen basically on your computer. So I'll give you that theory here.
So the Omega candle will simply just appear because it'll happen all at once. Like we're talking about earlier, many people will not understand Bitcoin, but they will try to copy their neighbor because they don't want to be left out. Or you can call it FOMO if you want. But imagine Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, Microsoft all buying at the same time. Well, MicroStrategy is trying to spend $42 billion on Bitcoin, while the US is trying to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin over a 4-year period, while public mining companies stop selling Bitcoin they mine because they can also run a MicroStrategy playbook and borrow.
While hodlers don't sell.
While hodlers don't sell.
There you go. That's the formula for the candle that goes all the way up to the sky. People are claiming, or actually somebody has announced that the United States is going to buy 200,000 Bitcoin per year for 5 years until they have 1 million Bitcoin, 5% of the Bitcoin supply. And then every other country is going to do it. I don't know, fam. I don't think it's going to, it might not stop. It just goes up. You might think, oh, I don't want to buy now, but I don't know. Might not stop this time. We'll see, though. That's what they always say. That's what they always say. Here's the person saying that they manage a ultra wealthy community.
On Trump's victory. Now let's find out what wealthy investors think with Barbara Goodstein, managing partner at R360, an ultra wealthy community for centimillionaires. Barbara, good morning. Great to have you here.
Centimillionaires.
So last time you were here, you wore red. You said it was by accident. This time you said it was on purpose. So is that a sign of what these centimillionaires think about this election?
Well, that is a sign that Trump won the election, and we think that there is a lot of big news coming. We had our market opportunities and risks meeting last week, and there's a lot of upside from this win.
All right, so these investors are excited about the win and obviously what it means going forward. One thing you say they're excited about is Bitcoin. So I mentioned to one of our earlier guests that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, it now has more assets under management than their gold ETF. Of course, we know gold is a safe haven. I know a lot of your investors, they hold gold as well. What's their sentiment when it comes to Bitcoin? And are they doing it directly or through ETF?
We're very high on Bitcoin, and we've been talking about Bitcoin for the past few years. We recommend doing it directly because you don't pay taxes if you're doing it directly. So that's a big difference. But we think that Bitcoin could become the next strategic reserve asset. So the country now holds 232,000 Bitcoin. We think that Trump could bump that up to over 1 million.
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Strategic reserve asset like gold. It's going to be game changing. It's going to happen. Countries, we already have a couple 100,000 Bitcoin that now we're going to keep. We're not going to sell it. So it's a strategic reserve asset. It'll go up in value so much. And then other countries will have to do it too. There are a lot of countries. There are only 21 million Bitcoins. So Spirit Warriors says, you bet it goes back to 60. You're going to sell some at 75. Aren't you glad you didn't sell it at 75? Now that's 87. It's 87 now. I'm looking at the chart. It pulled back a little. It's 86, 891. It doesn't matter. This morning, I mean, it was 80K yesterday. So if it goes back to 80K, it's not the end of the world. It's still way up. You just want to buy some every once in a while, set a thing, and hodl. That's it. That's all it takes. Just buy it regularly. If you need help with it, you can contact me. I can help you with it. I used to do that more. I can help you with it if you need help with cryptocurrency. But you got to just buy some stuff. Get some meme coins. All right. That's it for crypto. All right. Let me show you. I was trying to show. They said they had to I was trying to find the clip where they said Kamala spent $10 million on Beyonce. That's what people are saying. They paid Beyonce $10 million. I'll play you this clip. Why not? So we're talking about Kamala spending money. She could have bought Bitcoin. So this is about Kamala's spending.
I think one of the big stories that's going to come out, there's already some tea being spilt within Democratic circles about Jen O'Malley Dillon, who was the campaign manager that Kamala Harris inherited from Biden. She had $1 billion to spend.
$1 billion.
The campaign still ended $20 million in debt. And this at least has been reported.
Where'd the money go?
So, well, I'll tell you, the money went to
make ad
expensive
commitments.
consultants. They did overly elaborate staged events. They did these like fake concerts, celebrity cameos. Supposedly they paid Beyonce $10 million and they didn't even get a song out of it. And that ended up, pissing people off.
Paid? They were paying
I don't
celebrities to
know if that's true. I just read it in a tweet, so I can't say for sure.
See, that's what I don't know
read.
either.
Yeah,
See, that's what I don't know either. Fox News was saying she got paid $10 million, but I don't know if I believe it. If you're a celebrity making an endorsement, you shouldn't take money because then it's not really an endorsement. You should give your time for free. I thought that's what celebrities did I always assumed that's how it went. That celebrities gave their time for free and that was their contribution to the campaign, is donating their time. That's what I figured. I mean, that's definitely what it was with celebrities that endorsed Donald Trump. And certainly Elon Musk wasn't paid. Elon Musk contributed his own money to it. But anyway, here's a little.
But who knows? It sounds suspect, but the point is they spent a lot of money on the consultants and the events. And Elon went after the Amish, That's like a lot smarter.
The person on the Democratic side where I feel the most disappointment after all of this is Barack Obama. I think in the period when he was elected.
All right. So anyway, that was them talking about the $10 million. Yeah, Barack Obama kind of ruined his brand. Apparently. I mean, depending on who you ask. Democrats are in disarray. Democrats are scared. The women, I have some video of that. I have women talking about being scared. I'll show you that. We'll keep track of Bitcoin for people who are here for that. How do I feel about Ethereum? I think it's okay. I have a few, but I'm not. I mostly exchanged it for Solana, my Ethereum. I prefer Solana, but I have some Ethereum. It's okay. Sui, you might want to look into Sui too for stuff that's like Ethereum but better. Sui's kind of the new one. It's up a bunch. SUI or Solana. Solana's really good. It's been doing pretty well too. Here's people, women are wearing friendship bracelets. They're wearing some kind of blue friendship bracelet to identify each other because they're scared. They're scared when they go outside and see people that the people they see might have voted for Trump. And I don't know what they're going to do. That's what people are really thinking. They're like, oh my God. So here's a person talking about it.
I am experiencing this unfamiliar feeling, and I wondered if anyone else has been feeling this way. So I'm at the dog park, and I feel so mistrustful. Like, I don't know who's on my side and who's on the other side. I mean, I know we're going to start wearing the blue bracelets, and I think that will help.
Blue bracelet.
But, like, does anyone else feel that? I just have this fundamental mistrust. Like, I'm just looking at everyone going, are you part of why this happens? Are you a safe person? Like, I can only imagine how the marginalized communities are feeling right now. And I also don't want people to be looking at me thinking, oh, white woman, she definitely voted for him. Like, it's a very unsettling feeling. Is anyone else experiencing that? I am experiencing.
Weird, right? People going crazy still. You can see on the side here, Bitcoin is big news today. For those of you who don't follow it, it's two of the top trending topics. Out of the 4 trending topics are Bitcoin and BTC. I'm watching the price. Don't worry. If it really starts to pump, we'll let you know. Make sure to buy a Bitcoin shirt. I can show them to you. I'm wearing this one. I have to show you the back. Can you see it? Bitcoin saves, and it's like a fleece. It's like a velour kind of. So nice, and I have them in stock, and they're $15. And they say Bitcoin saves, and you can wear them on days like today and feel pretty good about it. You can wait for the Bitcoin pump days, but I have a feeling there will be more of them. And then you can just rub it in people's faces. So yeah, that's the one I'm pumping today. It's $15 for this sweatshirt. Very nice. I wore it out in public today. I wore my Bitcoin Saves t-shirt the other day. We have them in different styles, and we have Bitcoin shirts. We have Bitcoin shirts that are $5 at our website, truthclothing.io. This is another crazy woman.
Easiest and most effective form of protest you have right now that you can start immediately? Put a mask back on. Stop letting them observe your face and have the side benefit of better health and protecting the rest of us in the world. Put a mask back on. Fuck this government. Easiest.
What does that mean? Why? I don't understand that protest. So that's the easiest, most effective form of protest. They want to know how, they want to identify each other. I have Megyn Kelly kind of going off on Democrats. I'll show you that clip. We'll just show you some stuff. I can run a thing. I wonder if it'll work with only 50 people. I can run a goal. I'll do that again. 5 super chats. So we're going to run a goal. We will praise the chat. I will praise the chat. Okay. Your celebration shouldn't include. Okay. So I'll start my goal. Okay, we'll see how you guys are. 30 minutes. Okay, cool. They added goals to YouTube. It's a little trick. Oh, only $5 and above count. But you can also, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can buy cryptocurrency, and then when it does really well, that's the only thing I ask you to share your gains. So all the people I told to buy Bitcoin, especially I told you guys to buy it before the election. I definitely said buy some Bitcoin. It's like a sea change before the election. Yeah, and you could buy some Dogecoin too if you want to, if you're feeling crazy. Here's Megyn Kelly saying something about Democrats.
I can totally relate. I was open-minded. I was never a feminist, but I certainly was listening on where women were in America. And then your absolute insanity radicalized me the other way, to stand up against you, to fight you with everything I have, because you're destructive and you're deeply, deeply wrong. And my standing up for female empowerment, which I've done my entire life, does not require me to shit all over American men. I'm sorry. But this is why I never called myself a feminist to begin with, because I knew what you leftists thought of feminism. It meant abortion and crapping on men. And most of us women over on the side of the normies don't want that. We love our husband. We love our boys, our sons, our dads, our brothers, our male friends and colleagues. And we are not ready to consider this a zero-sum game where we must advance at their expense. Until you get that through your thick fucking head, you'll keep losing.
There you go. That's Megyn Kelly on losing women. And then I have another person getting scolded for talking about boys playing girls sports. This is why the left, because they'll just shut people down. They'll just say, oh, it's transphobic. They called everybody transphobic who said they didn't want biological males playing in female sports. They call them transphobic. This is what this guy does. Here, I'll play it.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and
reset for a second, because look, this is a really heated issue,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't.
There-
You're
no,
not.
no,
Just
it's
to be
okay.
clear, you are not being.
But I
targeted.
am. But it's okay.
I'm specifically
It's okay.
saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
I'm saying you're using a phrase
I want to
that
give
you
you an
know.
opportunity.
So the way
to
regular
rephrase.
people interpret it,
That's not
which is why
regular
those
people.
ads were
That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in
to
terms
take
of
away
its
healthcare from
effectiveness.
thousands
Just
of people.
hold on. Just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what? This is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested
And
that they were
lying
working.
in those ads over and over again, and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports.
But
First of all, we're talking about
what's the
5
language?
people in the
What's the
entire
language
country.
you would prefer?
We're talking
It's
about
not
trans
5
girls
people.
being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical
This is not about the
Guys, just
This
a
is
second.
this is about trying.
There you go. So it devolved immediately into shaming. That's what they have trouble with. Hey, Penelope, thanks. That's cool. $20 super chat. That's huge. Have always, appreciate oats, your news. I don't know what that means, but And your crypto been following you since day one. Day one, I made the channel November 22nd, 2015, the original channel. I made my first video sometime at the end of November 2015. Yeah, we're coming up on 9 years. So I don't know if you're really there since the beginning. But some people think I've been around longer. That's my favorite. People are like, I've been listening to you for like 15 years, ever since they'll say like, oh, I loved your coverage of this. And I didn't ever cover it. Like I wasn't doing news then. You guys watching the Jake Paul fight? That's coming up on Friday. Thanks, Penelope. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for leading the way. You know what's good. And I think you said you have cryptocurrency too. That's good too. All right, I'll show you a funny video from the Halloween time, from trick-or-treating time. This is pretty funny. Trump voters, or Trump kids, future Trump voters. Or no, Trump is going to be emperor. There will never be another election.
It's two, because they're Trump people, so they're cool. It's like Trump's winning. I'm ringing the doorbell. Hey, Trump's gonna win, okay? Don't ring it. Quick, don't do that. Trump's gonna win. Trump retreat. Ted Cruz down. I hate Kamala Harris.
Pretty funny. There you go. That's a good one. I might have said the price wrong. 87.7. That's what Bitcoin's at right now. 87.7. It went to 89. We're watching it. It's going to go to 90. It's going to go to 100. It could go to 100 tonight. Literally tonight. It could. That's what we're talking about. Oh, thanks, Job for 9. Dogecoin to the moon. Thanks, Job for 9. You're too much. Dogecoin to the moon. Yeah, I don't have Doge this time. I got some last time. I have Pepe and Whiff, dog with hat, and Pepe. I don't have Dogecoin this time, but I did last time when it pumped. Last time when Elon was pumping out. I think it might be a good one to buy. I was thinking about it. If you're looking to take a swing at something. It's at 34 cents right now. I mean, I don't know. It goes up like 30% a day. Be safer with something else, but if you want to take a risk, Dogecoin, Pepe, dog with hat, maybe Bonk. You got to get one on each chain. Shiba Inu might pump too on Ethereum. I like Pepe. I like frogs. Frogs have good juju. They're sacred frogs. And they can turn trans too, which is weird. Kind of like cannabis can, which is weird too. I have this new guy that got let me see. Okay. AOC is asking for accounts. Let's see who Trump voters listen to. Let me play this. AOC is trying to find out.
Which podcasts are you listening to? Which accounts are you subscribing to? I'm interested, like genuinely. Let me know which ones specifically, which accounts, which podcasts,
Trump voters.
Which podcast?
So, which podcast do you guys like? Do you guys like, who's I watching? Tim, what's his name? He just did something that people were quoting. Comedian. Everybody has a podcast, huh? I started a trend. I know I did. No, people were podcasting before me. But I started live streaming on YouTube pretty early. Let me show you the swing in Trump support for Trump and maybe Republicans too. This is Steve Kornacki on the big board talking about the shift to Republicans. I've been talking about this. I mean, it is crazy. The demographics have changed. But then again, Trump did better than a lot of people, than other Republicans. So he did better than other Republicans on the same ballot. So can the Republicans hold on to the demographic shift? That's the question. But these are the shifts.
Well, you have new data on the changing demographic coalitions we saw in this election?
Yeah, Jose, let's take a look here basically at what's emerged as the coalition that elected Donald Trump, because I think there's some striking changes here from when he first came on the scene and ran 8 years ago. The Republican coalition that elected Trump last Tuesday, it's younger, it's more diverse, it's more blue collar than before for Trump, and really that at any point for the Republican Party in modern history. This is what we mean. It says pre-Trump right here. That's the last presidential election before Donald Trump came on the scene. So that would be 2012 when Mitt Romney was the Republican nominee. In that election, the youngest voters under 30, went for the Democrats by 23 points. The voters with incomes under $50,000, Democrats by 22 points. Voters without a college degree, Democrats by 4 points. That's before Trump came along. And now, 2024, this is how those groups split last week. Look at this. The young voters under 30, that margin for Democrats cut more than in half. Under $50,000 has swung all the way over now to a Republican win of 3 points. Voters without a college degree from +4 for the Democrats, nearly a 20-point shift now, +14 for Trump and the Republicans. Look at the racial ethnic group breakdown here. You see it as well. Black voters, still a very core Democratic constituency. But look, pre-Trump, it was nearly a 90-point margin among black voters for Democrats. Last week, it was 72. That's a 15-point shift. This is the big one. Hispanic voters. It was a 44-point margin. That was the Democratic advantage before Trump. Last week, down to just 6 points. In Asian Americans, it was nearly a 50-point margin for Democrats before Trump, down to 15 points. So those are the changes that powered Trump, powered the Republican coalition. And as Trump now seems set to win the national popular vote, that's a big reason why. He didn't just make gains in the swing states that got him the Electoral College. He made big gains in big blue states. He didn't win any electoral votes in places like New York, New Jersey, California, but he got closer than he did before. And that's worth millions of votes. And that's how he gets the national popular vote. Meanwhile, we talk about the Republican Party becoming more diverse, more blue collar. The opposite movement you're seeing in the Democratic Party. So again, before
That's
Trump,
funny to me.
Republicans
More
had won
white.
the white vote by 20
More
points.
old.
It's down 4
More
points.
rich.
Republicans won it by 16 last week, but white voters are nearly 70% of the electorate. And so a 4-point shift there away from the Republicans toward the Democrats, that's significant. Voters with college degrees, it was a 2-point Democratic margin. Now it's a 13-point Democratic margin. Wealthy voters, $100,000 or more in income, it was 10 points Republican. Now it's 5 points for the Democrats. So the coalitions have changed here, Jose, over the last 8 years, and particularly in the 2024 election. And you see what that was worth for Donald Trump, a victory in the popular vote.
Well, that's striking. That income, 100,000 or more, and that jump, from +10 to +5. I mean, that's an extraordinary change in just a couple of years.
Yeah, and I mean, we were seeing signs of this, back in 2020. We were seeing signs of the Republican coalition. It wasn't enough for Trump then. We saw him make gains with Hispanic voters. You saw him make gains, consistently with voters without a college degree. And it just really escalated in this campaign. And again, it leaves questions I think we can show you here. This is the gender gap as well, by the way. But I wanted to show you the next one. These are some of the gains you saw for Trump in big blue states because of those shifts we just showed you demographically. Again, these are all still big blue states. But look at the improvements here that for Trump, the Democratic margin coming down substantially in all of those states. It's because of that coalition. We just
see if New Jersey becomes Republican, then Republicans can dominate for for an indefinite period of time if they keep it together. But things change. It's only +5 in New Jersey. That's crazy. New York +12. I mean, that could change. Illinois, though, too, +9 Republican. Okay, a few questions in the chat. Pandora Wake. Did anyone hear Pelosi's the person who hammered Pelosi's husband got life? I believe it. And Honest Reflection says, how do they know who has a college degree or not? It's from exit polling, apparently. Apparently, this is all from exit polls. They ask people. So how do they know? They ask, apparently. Believe it or not, there are some I'll tell you about the new borders are. On Alex Jones, they're saying there still might have been cheating in this election, which I guess you're allowed to talk about on YouTube now. So this guy says there still might have been cheating in swing states. Kamala Harris did better than the national average compared to Trump. She didn't do as bad compared to Trump in the swing states. So people are wondering why. Maybe they cheated. Here's a little.
But if you just do some basic math, 7% of 435 is 30 seats. So why didn't the Republicans pick up something in the vicinity of 30 seats? I think that's a really valid question, because in 2016 and in 2020, the state polling was to the right. The state outcome was to the right of the national popular vote. But here, for the first time, the state outcomes were to the left of the national popular vote. And that is weird and different. And so I think that the question that Republican voters should be asking themselves for the next 4 years is, how come Trump changed like 10 million people's minds, inspired new people to come out and vote for him that never have, inspired switch voters all across the country in almost every state? How come just in the battlegrounds, those particular states only moved to the right 1 or 2 points? I think that's a very valid question. My advice for the good of the country is for Donald Trump coming in. He's got a very strong agenda that he ran on that people want to see. That's why they voted for him. But listen, it's a problem for both sides. He needs to go on an election integrity jihad. And I don't know if that means appointing a czar. I don't know if that means somehow sanctioning states that have shown that they're unwilling to investigate these things. But the fact is that there is a ton of evidence courts could be looking at, and they haven't at all. And we're the only pollsters that follow this, because how can we be right? I'm surprised we were as right as we were in 2020 with all the magical unicorn Democrats that turned out. And nobody's talking about 2018. If you want to talk about surprise turnouts, because that was like a 60% increase in midterm cycle turnouts, and that did not have COVID. So how did that happen? And it's really wild.
Trump said on the Sunday, right before
he's asking the question about swing states and the Congress. It's weird because Trump did so well that Republicans really in the House, it's just going to be really close. They're only going to have the House by a few votes, maybe even a smaller margin than they currently have in the House, which is weird. So I think that's what he's talking about. All right, here's the new guy. You ready? There are memes about him. He's the border czar, I believe. The border czar. So I will give you memes. Well, first I'll give you the AOC clip. I haven't even watched it. Him interacting with AOC, people really like. So,
Mr. Holman, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Mr. Holman.
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman, with all
family.
due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
That's the new border czar. So yeah, he separated families. It's basically like a loophole, kind of. When you come into the country with a kid, they can't detain you because they have to separate, because they can't put the kids in jail. And they don't even know if you're related or not, but they just release you if you have a kid. I think that's the whole reason for it. So, and then the Democrats go crazy, but then the illegal migrants use it as a tactic where they bring a kid with them so they know they'll get released, basically. Otherwise, the Democrats are going to go on about family separation over and over and over again. So you're probably going to hear it. He was responsible for that. He's the new border czar. He talks about it here too. I'll show you that. Let me see if the sound will carry over. It probably won't. Let's see. Yeah, sound dropped down. Okay. Here's people are making memes about the guy. They say he's based. Here he is talking about family.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there's. Families can be deported together.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there's. Families can be deported together.
There you go. That's a meme somebody made about him. Also talking about the same thing. His name is Tom Homan. Oh, and then I'll show you something else too. Thanks for tuning in for this stream. Appreciate you. I know it's a little, it is like half the size. Yeah, it's because it's about Bitcoin. I'll make sure it's always something political or something. But it's cool you're here. Thanks for being here. Bitcoin's at 88.3, so it's coming back up. Might be back up to 89 before the stream is over. 88,354. All right, this is the new guy, Tom Homan. All right, here's another clip of him I haven't even heard. Here, let's see.
Hey, look, they gave me 5 minutes to say a few things, so if I offend anybody tonight, I don't give a shit. How many pounds of fentanyl didn't make in this country to kill Americans? How many known suspected terrorists didn't make it in the country? How many billions of dollars did the cartels make? President Trump is one badass president. He secured the border at a level we've never seen before. And I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that's been released into the United States under this administration. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to need some help. Do I have any volunteers that want to come back and help run the biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation? In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime walking back in the White House. He tells me, we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border down. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.
There you go. That's the guy. So he's serious. That is the new border czar. I believe he's the border czar. So that's one thing that happened today. In addition to the Bitcoin price pump. Okay, I showed you that. I finally have, I have a few announcements from Trump too. But this is the new UN lady. She is very pro-Israel. Extremely. Same as Nikki Haley was, which is one of the things that made Nikki Haley so unbearable. Super pro-Israel. Stefanik is the one that went after the universities. Stefanik is the one that went after the university presidents for having the Hamas on campus and so forth. So this is her. David Icke posts this.
As long as I serve the American people, I will defend George Washington's vision of religious pluralism and freedom. Today, this means crushing anti-Semitism at home and supplying the state of Israel with what it needs, when it needs it, without conditions to achieve total victory in the face of evil. Chants of death to America are not hollow slogans. They are a promise that what happened here on October 7th could happen in the United States unless Hamas and its jihadist accomplices are eliminated. And it is the United States' high honor and high responsibility to support Israel's effort. I have been clear at home, and I will be clear here. There is no excuse for an American president to block aid to Israel, aid that was duly passed by the Congress. There is no excuse to ease sanctions on Iran, paying a $6 billion ransom to the world's leading state sponsor of terror, or to dither and hide while our friends fight for their lives. No excuse, full stop. That's why I'm proud to have sponsored or backed every measure to aid Israel that has come before the United States Congress. Every single one. And it's why for years I have been a leading proponent and partner to President Trump in his historic support for Israeli independence and security, including moving the U.S. Embassy to its rightful place in Jerusalem. Israel is indeed a miracle, an outpost of freedom, of Western values, of civilization, a striking example of human potential, the physical embodiment of Herzl's maxim, if you will it, it is no dream. It's the same founding ethos that we prize in America, the American dream.
If you will it, it is no dream, dude. I know that from The Big Lebowski. If you will it, it is no dream, dude. All right, so that's Stefanik, super pro-Israel. Super. Okay, I have Trump talking about a few policies. I guess that clip of him, I don't know. People are sharing these clips of him in front of a camera. And I don't know if they're current or what. He's wearing different suits in each of these. He just like that clip that was on Joe Rogan's page, but I'll play them for you anyway. Don't know if they're new or old. He's planning to dismantle the U.S. indoctrination system. So this is about education. So once again, he may be putting these out now. If he is.
Tuition costs at colleges and universities have been exploding. And I mean, absolutely exploding. While academics have been obsessed with indoctrinating America's youth, the time has come to reclaim our once great educational institutions from the radical left, and we will do that. Our secret weapon will be the college accreditation system. It's called accreditation for a reason. The accreditors are supposed to ensure that schools are not ripping off students and taxpayers, but they have failed totally. When I return to the White House, I will fire the radical left accreditors that have allowed our colleges to become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. We will then accept applications for new accreditors who will impose real standards on colleges once again and once and for all. These standards will include defending the American tradition and Western civilization, protecting free speech, eliminating wasteful administrative positions that drive up costs incredibly, removing all Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucrats, offering options for accelerated and low-cost degrees, providing meaningful job placement and career services, and implementing college entrance and exit exams to prove that students are actually learning and getting their money's worth. Furthermore, I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. We are going to have real education in America. Thank you.
There you go. That's Trump once again. So he also said he's going to destroy the Department of Education. I got Bitcoin. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm just going to watch the Bitcoin chart for a second. Back up to around 89,000. It could seriously all of a sudden go to 100K. But we're at 88,839. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If you want any crypto recommendations, or if you have any questions about any cryptocurrencies. Once again, you can buy it pretty easily. You can go to Cash App. Oh, if you want to support the show, thanks for the super chats. I didn't make my goal, so it didn't work this time. But we didn't have enough people tuned in. But $25 is pretty good. Thanks, Penelope. Thanks, Job for 9 for the super chats. I think there's probably still a few minutes on the goal. It said it had a time limit. There's Bitcoin, 88.8. It might go up to 90K. It's been something else to look at. It feels like you're doing something when you're making money on cryptocurrency and you're watching the chart. It feels like you're earning money by watching charts. That's what Bitcoin's at. I'll check on Solana. Solana's around it was around 220 today. Let's see how it's doing. And it's up about 40% in the last 7 days. Yeah, 220 again. Still hasn't moved hardly all day while Bitcoin's been pumping. That's the daily chart for Solana, up to $220. That's cheaper than Bitcoin's. Some people say, oh my God, it's 88,000. I can't afford it. You can afford some. You can just afford, fractions. Fractions of a Bitcoin. A fraction of a Bitcoin is all you need. Or you can buy a few Dogecoin. See how Dogecoin's doing. Dogecoin was around 34 cents. It's up over 100% the last 7 days. That's pretty impressive. 17% today. That's the daily chart. It's insane. It might go up way more too. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy about cryptocurrency. Could go up way more. Up 24% today. It's 36 cents almost. Oh my God. Just keeps going up. Honest reflections. ETH is pumping now. Oh, that's good. So ETH started to catch up. That's good. I'll check in on it. ETH is okay. I like it. I don't like it as much, though. It's slow. And fees are up again right now on ETH. ETH is at 33.50. Its all-time high is around 4,800. So it's pumping now, you said? No, not really. Not right at this minute. 33.28 is what I have it at this minute. Go back to Bitcoin. So we're going to be watching charts all night, probably. Staying up late, listening to Bitcoin songs. $88,774. All right, guys. I don't see any questions in the chat. It's a smaller show. So thanks for tuning in for the show. I appreciate it. Make sure to buy your t-shirts, especially if you're into cryptocurrency. You get your crypto future t-shirt. Oh, it's at 89 now. Oh boy. See, I can stay tuned in watching this chart. 89.1. It's going to go up to 90. It's pumping. 89.138. Up $8,600 today. How about that? What if it goes up to 90 today? Then it's going to go to 100. It could go to 100 tonight. That's how crazy things are. You can buy $10 of Bitcoin, Ma the Meatloaf. That's a good question. What's the minimum amount of Bitcoin you should purchase? At least $10 at a time. There's fees whenever you purchase it, so you got to see what's most advantageous depending on the fees. But you can buy it on Cash App. I buy it on Cash App usually because the price is cheaper than Coinbase. Usually the price is cheaper. Coinbase charges you extra. Everybody does, actually. They charge you a premium, $89,227. Okay, well, we'll have to stay until it gets to 90, I think. This is so crazy. I know sometimes things pump a lot, but this is a lot for Bitcoin. I haven't seen a day like this for a long time. It could be a $10,000 day. 89 to 184. We won't have to pay taxes on unrealized gains anymore because Kamala didn't win. We're going to move to Puerto Rico or El Salvador or Dubai before it's over. And then we're not going to have any taxes. We're going to have to move because it's going to go up to $1 million. It might go up and never stop. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good seeing you. Bitcoin 89K. We'll see what it is tomorrow. For now, stay with me, fam. Christina, yes, first time 90K. It's first time everything. It's a virgin at this price. That'll be the first time, yeah. It was the first time everything over 80 today. First time at 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, all today. So, all right, guys, get a sweatshirt, get your t-shirts, send Cash App, donos, etc. If you know it's good for you. For now, that's what it is.